Hey guys, it's Nikki. I'm making this video to talk about binders. Basically what a chest binder is it's like a shirt that you wear to make your boobs go away. I identify as being bigendered, which means that I switch from identifying as female and identifying as male. So one day I will feel like a girl, and then another day I'll wake up and I will feel like I am a boy. I've personally owned 3 binders now. The first one I got from a website called Tea Kingdom. I think it's European actually, but all of the model photos of the binders are on Asian individuals, and it seems that the sizing might be actually Asian sizing, because I had to order a large from them, whereas the binders that I just bought is a small. I think that might be why I had such a bad time with that binder, but it was only compression here and it velcroed on the side, so you would slip it on and velcro it to tighten that whole thing, and it sucked for a few reasons, one of which being the velcro would dig into my skin. So if I wore it for like over a few hours, it would like hurt. It would start to hurt really bad, and when I would take it off I would have a deep red indent in my side and it would be really sore until like the next morning. And on top of that, with the velcro, it is hard to get it tight enough, especially by yourself. I guess it's similar to trying to tighten a corset, because you can only put so much force this way without pulling a muscle in your armpit, which really hurts, and I've done it countless times trying to put on that binder by myself. So it got to the point where I would need someone to unvelcro what I velcroed so that I'm not like naked in front of them, because that's weird. And they literally would have to pull it as far as they could to velcro it as tight as possible, because keep in mind there's only one strip of velcro, so if you want it to go tighter than that, too bad, because there's nowhere to stick it at that point. So yeah, that was kind of a shitty experience, not to mention the binder cost like around $60 or $70. I don't know. It was not a fun time. And my second binder I got from Underworks, which is where I got my most recent binder as well, and I highly recommend Underworks for any type of binder you would need. Whether it's just for cosplay or if it's for passing in public or whatever, their binders are awesome. But yeah, my second binder from Underworks was the Tri-Top, which I have right here. It has been well loved. I've had this binder for I think 3 years? 3 years, I think. I think that's how long it's been, but anyway. And it has lasted me up until a few months ago, when I started getting fed up with it because it wasn't making me flat enough, because it eventually wears in, so it can only stay elastic for so long. The binders from Underworks are hard to pull over your head like a shirt, so it's recommended that you step into it and pull it up over yourself. But the thing that sucks about that is that if you have a booty, you're going to eventually stretch the material. And the main reason why this wore out was from me pulling it over my butt and my hips. And it eventually wore in enough where I can just pull it over myself now. The collar and the sleeves are all funked up. Like, you can see how the strap is one thickness and then it gets really thin towards the seam, because that's where it was stretched so much from me pulling it up over my butt. So I recommend, after breaking in your binder a little bit, trying to not pull it over your butt, because your binder will wear out faster if you have wider hips or a bigger butt or whatever. But yeah, so the Tri-Top is really cool because it has 3 layers of binding material in the front and then 1 in the back, so it's like see-through and breathable. So it's super comfy. I love it. The only thing that's kind of weird about it is that it's a belly shirt. If you wear a tight shirt, you can see the brim at the bottom because the seam is like pretty thick. So you can see it through the shirt, so it looks kind of weird. Since it's pushing everything here, you kind of get like some more like belly chub going on because this is pushing everything down. But I mean, if you have a shirt on that's not super tight, it's not a big deal. But wearing a tight shirt, it kind of sucks because if you slouch forward, you get a defined line from the binder folding into your stomach, and then you look like you have quite the tummy roll, and you know, that's just not cute. That's the only thing that I don't like about this. And one of the downsides to the long binder is that it rolls up really easily, and that is super annoying. And sometimes the way that it rolls up, if you can't exactly fix it right at that moment, it's kind of painful. That's something to be careful about. If you really can't stand doing that, then I suggest you get this. And if you are more worried about the tummy roll thing, then you should get the long one. I guess I should like show you this one. Okay, the binder that I have is the Ultimate Chest Binder, and unlike the Tri-Top, it has only 2 layers of compression rather than 3, but it works out because it's on your stomach, so that way it's not too tight and it's not impossible to put on. And even with just 2 layers, it does a lot, because I am pretty flat right now compared to how I look unbound and compared to how well I was bound with this in its most recent state. I've only worn it a few times so far, but I wore it all day for the first 2 days that I had it, so it's breaking in a little bit. The only thing that really sucks about this binder is breaking it in, because with any binder, when you first get it, it's really stiff and it's really tight, and it has to like learn your body. Got stuff digging into you, like the edges are not the softest, especially in the armpit area. The first part that starts to get sore is right under my armpit from it rubbing together. Even if it's just for a few minutes or something, you have to just let your body take a chill pill for a few minutes or whatever if it starts to hurt. Before making this video, I had to put this on by myself for the first time, and I didn't want to pull it over my butt because I don't want this to wear out because I love it so much. So for the first 2 days, I had my boyfriend help me put it on. I had him put it on me so that I could just put my arms up and slip right in and not have to worry about pulling muscles in my armpits and getting stuck like this in my binder, because that happened the first time I tried to put this on. Just be careful. Don't try to like force yourself into it. If you can't get it over your head, don't try to get it over your head, because you will hurt yourself and you probably will get stuck. So this is the full ensemble. Yeah, so the binder, it's just awkward here because although the bottom does flare out a little bit because it's made for people who do have bigger hips, my rib cage is big for my body, so where my ribcage stops, my waist kind of just goes and since this fabric is so like stiff, this kind of just folds in here, and it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes. And as you can see, my binder is tucked into the binding briefs because that helps stop it from rolling up, but especially in the back from like bending over and stuff, it rolls up super easily and it sucks. I love the briefs. They definitely do what they're supposed to. I mean, it looks a little bit awkward down here because it causes a little bit of a roll, but that's what happens, because same thing with armpit boob that you get going on sometimes. Your boobs are made out of tissue, and that tissue's gotta go somewhere else, and there's only so many places it can spill out. When I put my binder on, I readjust, pull my chest outward and upward a little bit, and that's mainly why it starts to spill out here, because if I just pull them in, I won't have this, but then I have like that awkward uni boob thing. You can't just put on a binder and have it just disappear. I wish it was that easy, but it's not. The briefs are really awesome. They help get rid of this curve. Well, not get rid of, but they definitely make it less accentuated. It definitely is a difference compared to what I look like without these on. From the side, my butt is significantly smaller, but the pouch is really cool because you can put your dick in it, and if you don't have a dick, it has a pocket in the pouch for you to put a dick. So whether it be a packer or a sock or whatever you're gonna use, you can literally put it in the pocket and it stays there, and then it won't just be this empty flap right here. One of the crappy things about the briefs is the seam on the inside. The worst one being the one that is on the back of the inner thigh. It is a super thick seam, and it protrudes quite far from the fabric. The first few days kind of suck, especially if you sit down a lot. I was sitting on my ass the entire time, so the seam was really digging into my leg, and after a while I had to just take them off because my leg was burning from how deep it was digging into my skin. That's one thing to be prepared for when you have to break in your briefs, but just do it in increments and don't do what I do, and don't suffer through that pain if you don't have to. As far as taking the binder off, I think it's easiest to, well, if you can pull it over your head, you just pull the bottom and pull it up and off that way. But if you have to step into your binder, taking it off the same way is a lot easier because you pull your arms out of it and then fold it down over itself, roll it off of you that way, so that it's rolling against itself and not your skin, because this is like kind of slippery and your skin is not, and that way you won't like pull on your skin or anything, and it just comes off a whole lot easier. And also, never pull the binder up or down by the straps, because that's how you get this nasty stretched out strap business going on. That's basically it about my binders. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or something, let me know, and I will try to answer your question as best as I can. So yeah.